So, hi everyone. It's nice to see all of you on this new setup. Um, I feel like it's been a while since we had one of those chats, and ever since everyone is just like happening to stream on Twitch, etc. We just figured with Fesk and all of our guests here today that we will do our first live stream. So it's a new experience. So let me introduce all of you guys. If you don't know any of us already, we have my co-host here, Fesk, and we have our two guests, Kai Gordon and Orphan Crypto. Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us.
Hey guys.
Um, it's always nice to have you guys around. I know we've been chatting together as well on the boys club, and it's been amazing. And on Kyle Gordon's live chat the other day as well. So I figured it would be interesting to have you around. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what we do here, we basically have weekly live chats where we just discussed in a really chill way about everything NFTs and mental health in general, because there's a lot to just consider when you do NFTs. And there's a lot happening both in the community and in your head as well. So we just thought that it would be an interesting way just fan it all out, and this is a safe space. So if you guys need to say anything or just like have something you want to get out of your chest, then just feel free to go ahead. So this is my intro. Was I great enough?
It was perfect.
Yeah, now it's
Okay.
not remixed at all, so it should be fine.
Perfect.
Pre-rehearsed
Thanks.
with us.
So I'm just usually when we go live, we just start by asking all of our guests and hosts what they've been going through lately and has been their mindset and how they're feeling. So just feel free, guys, to go ahead, Fesk, if you want to start, and then we can just roll it out.
Yeah, like I think that this time we should probably let our guests start because I feel that all these past few months I'm always the one that starts, and since we're doing a live stream, maybe we should do something
Of
different.
course.
So please,
Of course.
Kyle or Orphan, go ahead.
Go for it, Kyle.
Alrighty. Yeah, I've been good. I definitely had like a mental breakdown like 2 weeks ago in Spain when I went out there to work with my company at our HQ. So I was making art for a while, and then I decided to build my own platform for NFTs. And so I haven't been making any art for months now. And it's definitely difficult watching a lot of my friends creating and succeeding and doing really cool stuff. But I hope what I'm building can help a lot of people to make better art, to create in an easier way in this space. But it definitely comes with a lot of baggage, not to mention, especially the people we're working with when we launch, their art is kind of in our hands. And so there's a lot of trust. And it's a mind fuck. There's definitely an entire tornado of like imposter syndrome meets like a lot of people's well-being is now directly correlated to me performing tasks, which is something very different from me just making art and sitting at my computer and doing what I want to do. So it's been interesting. It's been a challenge, to say the least. I should probably see a therapist, but everything's been good. Otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good and thankful, and yeah, I hope I can make art again someday soon.
Someday soon, when you're done being a task man. Are you enjoying it though? It sounds like a complete
Yes.
change of pace. Sometimes that's good, right?
Yeah, man. It's a lot of managerial stuff. It's a lot of coordinating with people. I have a lot more respect for the platform curators and people behind the scenes who are managing a lot of this stuff. Um, I used to get very upset when people wouldn't reply to an email, and now I get it. I get it. It is so difficult, and it's like every email you send and every email you read is giving a little bit of yourself. And when you're working 16-hour days for 3 months on end, it's a lot. Like I can't read emails, and so like it's definitely a struggle because I, on one hand, really want to be there and attentive and be the person that people couldn't be to me during my process. But on the other hand, it's hard to find balance. You know, at what cost do I have to give all of this in order to appease everyone? So it's been a challenge.
Yeah, I would love
What
to.
about you?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
No, I was just saying. What about you? How have your few weeks been?
Yeah, I would love to quickly like touch on the topic of not making art for a few weeks because especially with I was doing like every days for probably a year, right? And I got into a rhythm that okay, doing art every day it might be a little bit like exhausting, but it's actually kind of nice, creativity in terms of creativity. Damn, that was a lot of stutter. But yeah, so when I got into the crypto space and that I started working on longer projects and I wasn't actually doing um, a single artwork every day, I felt that okay, I'm not putting out as much art as I wanted. So it definitely kind of hit me on a more psychological level. So I totally understand what you're going through, like on this aspect.
Yeah, I've been feeling the same thing too because I'm not I've switched it as well to not doing so many like pieces for myself, and I've been working a lot on stream graphics and setting up bots and the Discord and like running communities and stuff. I'm not doing like a I'm not responsible for other people in the same way that Kyle is, which I'm sure is even more pressure on top of that. But and I'm enjoying it, but it's a weird change of pace. It's good and bad. It's a different thing to get used to.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of the same for me. I've been definitely on the low at the moment um, because I have a lot of just paperwork to do. When things they slow down, it's kind of the moment where you have to go back to reality a bit and just like do all of those things. And it's just really just a bit too much, a bit too real for me sometimes. I'm just like, I miss the euphoria sometimes, but also it's a nice change of pace because it wouldn't be sustainable to just go at the same super fast pace route every so often basically. So um I'm kind of relieved but also kind of stressed because obviously there's a lot of changes at the moment. As Orphan said, I'm not near just having as much work as Kyle does, for example. But I'm pretty sure that all of us in our own ways have a lot to deal with, and sometimes just dealing with things, it just really depends on how you're comfortable taking on your shoulders basically. So sometimes you have more energy to just maybe work with others and yeah, be the boss, and sometimes you just have trouble just working with yourself at all. um so I don't know, I feel like I have this feeling that the current change of pace and just a bit of a desert period we're going into is interesting because we tend to learn from that. Um, so I'm not mad, but I'm definitely anxious because I don't know how it's going to be like in the next few months. Is it going to change? Are things going to get back to where they were, or is it just going to be all new? Um, what do we do now? you know.
100%. It feels like this whole thing's just a giant experiment that we're just tossed into.
Hmm.
I know that I've struggled with people, and I haven't even been in it that long, right? And people are like, come to me for advice and stuff, and it's like I don't know what I'm doing. I just
Yeah.
started in February. Like I don't, I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm
Right?
just trying to figure it out. And so that's
Exactly.
a weird thing. So I think I don't know. We're all figuring it out together. I'm excited personally for the change of pace because um, I think everyone will realize that we're all in it together a bit more than the jockeying to try and sell at a rapid pace that was going on. So maybe,
Hmm.
maybe that'll.
Yeah, I think that the space slowing down it's definitely kind of good because you have more time to build. I think that back on February that things were like super damn fast. I was like, okay, oh my god, I don't have time to sit down and kind of take maybe a week to think about a concept or about a whole collection. Like I'm working on a collection that I've been thinking about for like 2 months now. So I wasn't like super fine on taking that much time back then to think things through. So I think that the overall space slowing down is positive in this space, this like aspect. But as Alicia said, it's always that feeling of okay, when it's going to change, or like will I be ready when things start picking up again? So it's always that underlying pressure of okay, I need to be ready. It's going to happen anytime now, right? But yeah, anyhow, there's always like pros and cons. So I think that the pro is like okay, now I have actual time to work on stuff, but then it's going to happen anytime now. So I need to be ready, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's easier to build for the future during bear markets, especially in crypto. Whereas I find like my mental health is the absolute worst in bull markets because you have this impending urgency and kind of this like gut feeling that you know it's not going to last. Like I don't know about you guys, I knew
Hmm.
that whole euphoria phase was not going to last. It was
Yeah.
very similar to like 2017, where everyone was buying like every shit coin under the sun. Like that's like the top signal. Um, and it's hard, it's hard to like not want to capitalize on that opportunity at the expense of like your mental health, your well-being. Maybe you skip meals, maybe you only eat toast. um but yeah, I
Doesn't
mean
sound too
I
bad.
I mean honestly the toast is great.
That's
Honestly,
why.
I'll miss the toast more than anything. um but yeah, I think now it's easier for people to look towards the future. And what this always was, and I'm sure some of you can relate, being like digitally native creators. I know, Alicia, you dabble in like physical prints as well. You know, I think before all of this happened, when the money started flowing in and everyone was making all this money, you get super jaded by the numbers and the value that's created. And honestly, probably like a year ago, if any of us could probably clear like $1,000, $2,000 a month from selling our own artwork, that would have been the dream. That's
Yeah.
like milestone achieved. Like that's something I didn't think I could do for probably 10 years down the road. With like a huge Instagram following, tons of work building up over the years. And within a few months, it became like a reality. But I think it's important to not get jaded and to actually think about now, how do I build something that's sustainable? How do I nurture this brand? How do I pair my non-crypto audience with my crypto audience? So I think it's an opportunity to really think long term. We have a lot of colleagues who are working on really cool projects, like trying to innovate, like really push the space and take advantage of the medium. And I think it's just a question of like each artist finding their own flow and finding what's comfortable and just kind of like setting goals and a strategy.
That's super interesting, and I feel like you touched something I was actually thinking about that just this morning. I mean, I think about it a lot, but all of the we mentioned all of this before, but the expectations that arises from market and just like comparison in general are super toxic in my opinion, because it generates just irrealistic things and expectations in our heads, and things that we weren't prepared to think about or just feel that way, because as you mentioned, um, before that, before all of this, all we were just thinking about was just like maybe having client work and just maybe get our budget accepted, which is all which is always the case basically. But it was all about that. It was just about scoring a few maybe $1,000 and just like having maybe that license purchase or something. But now we've been thought about a new way of working, a new way of selling, and just so many things to handle, so many new things. And the only example of this thing we can have and look for is what is happening in the market currently, and how others sell their stuff, for how many they sell their work as well, how collectors reply to their collection, etc. So it's really difficult because there's not really a stable analytics of all of those things, because we're just building them as we go. uh and yeah, I'm just thinking about that because I myself, you said something that, like, you made, for example, the money that you never wish you would have done like in 10 years or something, and I'm the same, but at the same time I just cannot stop myself from thinking, what about now? Because I have this, but what if I do not make any more money like in 10 years after that? Like, what do I do then? Like, should I just like save all of this and just like never touch it? Or should I, what do I do? It's so confusing. I don't know.
Well, I think it depends on what are the goals for your work. Is your goal to grow your audience, grow your fan base, get your artwork into as many hands as possible, or is it to, kind of find this niche of like the 1,000 true loyal fans who will buy anything and everything you release for your lifetime? Um, and I think that's something I've been thinking a lot about recently. And I think, from what we've seen with other platforms like Hiknunk, etc., is people are starting to experiment with this possibility of larger editions, like selling pieces for lower quantities, and selling more of them to reach certain goals. And so I think as creators, it really boils down to like, is there a way you can have the best of both worlds? I think maybe the questions people should start asking is, how does this crypto niche native world start? How do I bring it into my like other audience? Like, remember the Instagram audience, like the people who would buy like your prints and your stuff on your shop, maybe commission something from you. Right now, they're these two separate things. And the question is, what happens when they join? What does your brand look like? What does your artwork look like? What are the things you create, and what does that look like? So I think it's those are maybe the questions like I would encourage people to start thinking about.
Absolutely.
Those are certainly the questions. I'm curious because I've had an Instagram following in the past, but never for my personal art. The first art social media account I've had was just this one. So, have you guys had any pushback or any trouble getting people to accept you in the NFT space because of environmental concerns or anything else that people are thinking about?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't have any pushback from my Instagram like people per se. I had some pushback from people that didn't know me before, and especially down here in Brazil, I got a few articles about myself, and like I've been on TV for even for a short period of time, but that reaches a lot of people. So I got a lot of people DMing me and criticizing me because of the environmental aspects. But like for me, it wasn't that hard to deal with these people because most of them didn't even know what blockchain is. So when I start talking about like the tech and how what this means, it kind of like these people. Okay, now I understand it. So it's not like, go ahead, Alicia.
Your mic is low apparently, Fisk.
Oh,
Just
okay. Okay.
Samuel
Now.
just stated in the chat.
Is it better right now?
For me,
Oh,
it's
should be
coming
fine.
across fine,
I
so it
just
might
hear
be a
you
stream
fine.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I think I fixed it right now. Yeah,
He
now
says
it's
it's
fine.
better.
So I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys heard it before, but basically, like, I didn't have that much pushback from my Instagram audience per se. A few pushback from people that didn't know me before and kind of knew me about because of NFTs, and especially down here in Brazil, it's like people don't even know what it is. Oh, I think that Alicia kind
Oh
of
no.
dropped.
Ah,
Yeah, so
wait. Panic.
panic. Why
We
panic?
gotta. We gotta. Everyone in chat, spam emojis until we figure this out.
Amazing.
As hard as you can. The more emojis you spam, the quicker we'll get this sorted.
Yeah, like just Alicia come back, so like it fits everything. Yeah, we're calm. Like,
It's a fire sale.
like knowing Alicia, she's probably freaking out right now.
Probably.
Yeah,
If you
100%.
can, if you can hear us, Alicia, calm down, take a breath. Everything's okay. I think my face is probably split in half due to the overlay right now, but
No,
I
it's
think
not.
that's
It's not.
okay.
Like, it's not that
Okay.
bad. Everyone can see us. It's just that like Orphan is in the center. We are like on the T shape right now.
That's fair.
But yeah,
Oh.
so until Alicia comes back, like you guys can
I
talk
mean,
on the
Audio's
topic.
back.
She's
Oh,
back.
she's back.
We
Perfect.
did it. Hey,
It's-
guys, the emojis worked. Everyone, you guys saved the stream. Congrats.
I was like, sorry. So I decided to do an update just
Oh wow.
randomly, like, oh, sorry, I had to go to the spa, but now I'm back. Anyways, what were you saying? Sorry about that.
Oh, me? Like I was just talking about like my experience with possible haters and of
Oh yeah.
NFTs
So
and
what
stuff
about
like
that? Did
Uh,
you get any?
A little bit, but from people that didn't know what NFT were exactly. So once I explained it all, so it was basically fine.
I feel
Samuel
that's
is
like-
asking. Sorry,
Go for it.
Samuel was asking, like, did you react to them?
Like the best reaction, and I think that I told you this before, Alicia, actually, is like when people criticize me like directly and maybe on an aggressive way, I kind of reply with a bunch of questions. Like, okay, you're criticizing me because of this. Please answer the following questions. And like all these questions, if the person can actually answer them, they have no reason to attack me. Like those questions were basically, what is a blockchain? What the correlation between blockchain and the energy cost of it all, and how if the person manages to reply to all that, the person will probably notice that, okay, I shouldn't be like cursing and like attacking him. So that's my way
That's
to
smart.
reply.
Yeah,
That's smart.
yeah, that's very true.
And sorry,
people
Orphan,
are-
you wanted to say something before I cut you off.
Yeah, it was just right along those lines. Is like I feel like most people who are attacking NFTs just don't understand fully, and because it's new and it's different and it's I don't know. There's a lot of FUD out there about it, and I think that's just kind of a natural way of like new systems and technologies, right? But yeah, I think there's people who don't know better. So yeah, Fest, that's really interesting. So it sounds like you've taken you have a good funnel to figure out who you should listen to and who you shouldn't, and that in itself is probably really good for your mental health, figuring out who you should be taking opinions from.
Yeah, it's really funny because it's just a simple copy paste message that I have ready to go. And most of the time, the person doesn't even reply. They check the message, but they don't have
Right.
a fucking clue on how to reply to that. So they just like ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I was just going to add, I haven't, unfortunately, I haven't had a huge issue with environmental blowback because most of my fans are my friends. I keep relatively a low profile on social media for the most part. But when we did the carbon drop, which was a fundraiser for the Open Earth Foundation and like climate change and impact, a lot of the artists were getting like hate mail and death threats. And it's crazy because we had some people commenting on other people's threads, and I wasn't getting any hate because I'm a tiny fish in a big pond. But I was going into other people's like comments and basically like asking them like, hey, what's up? Like, no, actually, that's incorrect. This is what we're doing. We're actually offsetting everything. And beyond that, we're actually carbon negative. And a lot of the cases when I would start dialogue with these people, it's just because they were angry about something else. And it wasn't about the environment at all. I think we just have to realize, as hard as it is, that it's been a sensitive year and a half for a lot of people. And a lot of people are really struggling, just as we do. And their outlet is the internet. There's no police on the internet. It's pretty easy for people to just like hide behind a username and do whatever they want.
Police on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no police on the internet yet.
We should start it. It'll solve everything.
The internet police. No, I'm actually, I just love what you just said, Cal, because I think it's a great reminder. We had Callan Shob on one of those live chats we do. And if you're not familiar with what Callan does, he receives a lot of hate on socials, basically, even before doing NFTs. But when he started doing NFTs, he received massive hate, especially because he works with that hate in his work. He does a lot of, he paints on top of all of those negative comments that he prints, etc. It's really interesting. And I feel like that approach of just trying to, I mean, if you're comfortable doing it, of course, but if you're trying to position yourself in someone else's shoes as much as you're trying to do with all of your peers as well, it helps because, of course, all of those people that have a lot of hate and a lot of just misconception about what we do, etc., they come from a place of frustration, personal traumas, personal experiences as well, and it's really difficult. And of course, whenever you receive a criticism like that and hate, there's the genuine and just like immediate reaction to just defend yourself and just be mad. But at the end of the day, there's more behind that, and we are the people who are able to see behind the hate mask and the hate curtain, and show more and more empathy. And I know that sometimes it's really difficult because it takes so much energy to just always have that empathy and just always put yourself in someone else's shoes and always be the one who tries to understand why others are saying those things, etc. It takes a lot of energy, and sometimes it's fun if you do not feel like doing it. But the world needs people like that because the more we are taking that path and just trying to understand that, the more we are likely to maybe just educate others to do the same. And I really feel that people, they can learn from that by just seeing others doing it as well.
On the flip side of that, I was just going to add, on the flip side of that, I think a lot of people need to realize that we're just artists. Like, we have no malicious intent when we release our work on the internet. We're not trying to murder the planet. If anything, we're trying to make it a better place and actually like instill positive emotions. Even if it's negative emotions, it's things to make people feel a certain way, which is positive. So, we have to understand them. They need to understand us. Hold hands, hug, virtually hug.
Yeah, I'm not saying that everyone's going to be mad in love with each other by the end of the day, but the very fact is that I feel like artists and just people in this community have been showing a lot of compassion and a lot of just open-mindedness in general, just really trying to understand everyone's point of view, trying to make everyone happy. At least most of us. Of course, there's always people who will not just like take the same bandwagon, but we're trying, and I feel like our intentions are really genuine and just like well put in a good place. And sometimes I just wish that, when I do not have the energy, I wish that someone could just like do the same for me. And I feel like I'm seeing that in the community. I'm seeing this from all of you guys. I'm seeing it from people I do not know in the community as well. When you're putting your that call out of the blue and just saying that you're not feeling great and just like need some help and just help you figure out things, people are here for you. But I just wish that external people from our movement and community will just maybe just try and I don't know, do the same. But it takes time because for now it's super new, and for now it's all about the misconception and just not understanding everything, miseducation on the topics. And I feel like we all did really great just dealing with that when it all happened at this all at once. I feel like most of us reacted in a really really good way, and everyone did what they had to do and said what they wanted to say. And I feel like I don't know, like, how do you guys feel like we went through this?
I like that positive take on it because I was honestly very impressed with the community and the type of people and all the individuals that are in NFTs and in the space, especially during the craziness that was the past few months. I
Mhm.
consistently saw teamwork, people making friends, building communities, helping people pay. The amount of people I saw help people pay gas fees to mint their
Yeah.
first piece was insane. It was almost like literally anyone, if they had the crypto, they would just pay gas fees for anyone.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's crazy, especially
Absolutely.
for a decentralized autonomous technology where you literally don't have to do anything for anyone
Hmm.
because it's all on the chain. And not only that, just everything that I saw, I think that this space attracts people of a certain caliber, because it hard selects for such unique characteristics. Like not everyone's going to be in an emerging art market that's like on the technological cusp. you know, it
Hmm.
selects for people with like a certain amount of intelligence, willingness to try new things, which also comes with generally a sense of like teamwork and stuff. So all of
Hmm.
this is to say that I was very impressed with the community, and I'm very happy to be here because it seems like we have a lot of good people.
And it's
Yeah.
impressive because for me it's like a chain reaction because we have good people and good people they tend to like onboard other good people and it's like it's a positive reaction all the way in my opinion. Like I'm really
Mhm.
interested to see how this space will look like in like a year or 2 years from now because probably like we will have different blockchains with like more accessible ways of minting and like NFTs will become more and more and more mainstream so everyone will be able to do it and like the overall process will be easier. So I don't know, it will be interesting to see like how pure will we be able to maintain this community, right? Because this is something, yeah, this is something that crosses my mind like pretty much every day. Like, how will this look like in like 2 years in terms community wise? I mean,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think
big
it's
companies are trying to come in every day, and
mhm.
shake things up too. So, what were you saying,
Yep.
Kai?
Yeah, I was just gonna add. I think at the end of the day, if you want to protect that community as a creator and as someone in it, you just need to stay true to the things that matter to you and your values. It's the same thing with your artwork. You can't be making certain things just because your collectors want to do it. It's really about you staying true to what inspires you, what fuels you. The space is going to look crazy in 2 years. You're going to have the highly centralized mainstream sort of solutions that are very closed off, not really plugging and playing in other ecosystems, but everyone trusts, because that's the whole point of these centralized systems. You put your trust in someone else to protect your things. And then you'll have the decentralized ones, kind of like the ones today. But instead of it being blockchain centric and one blockchain centric, you're actually going to have multiple blockchains with bridges between one another to actually connect the work. And so it's going to be less about like, oh, I'm on Tezos, oh, I'm on Ethereum. It's going to be more like, I'm on this ecosystem that's EVM compatible, where it's like Polygon and like Ethereum, and you'll have all these layer 2 solutions, maybe plugging into Solana, etc. And then you'll have other ones that are like Flow, maybe. In Flow, I don't think is like is open. It's a lot more like you're on Flow or you're not on Flow. So it's just there's going to be a lot of options to play, and I think there isn't like a right answer. Some people are going to want to be on the Apple of NFTs because it's cool and they just take care of everything, and actually it has nothing to do with blockchain or anything. And then some people are going to be like the renegade Wild West cowboys with their hats and shit, running around guns blazing and selling
running
NFTs.
a Linux computer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, doing their DeFi stuff, fractionalizing NFTs, making NFTs of their NFTs.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's so many possibilities actually, and I was just like doing this journey backwards in my head the other day, and it's just so crazy. The very fact that we are here talking with each other, this has enabled so many things for us, way more than just like the wealth aspect of it all. And I'm just really grateful for that. And I feel like this is an important reminder that there will be things that we do not understand in the future, and that we will have to learn again and again. And once you have your community, you're ready for anything, because you have your family, you have your crew with you, and you're ready to take on the world, basically. I know there's a few questions, Samuel, as a question in the chat. If there is a crypto winter, what do you think will happen to all these people emotionally? Sorry. This is a great question, and this is also something I wanted to touch base on, because I feel like this is pretty worrying for a lot of people, because a lot of us have either invested in cryptocurrencies, or just like have cryptocurrencies that we see downgrading with days. um, so it's a bit concerning. Most of us have a little hard time to make any sales these days, which was to be expected as well. But even though we were statistically prepared to all of that, it doesn't dismiss the fact that like a lot of us are having a hard time dealing with that because of all the insecurities that it generates. And I feel like this is why it's important to just keep the reminders out there and keep talking about it, because no matter how many times we will mention that this is going to be a phase, and that the market is going up, down, and that there will be more behaviors from collectors, from artists, etc., in the future, and new behaviors in general, I feel like it's still important to just keep saying those things. And if you need to just talk about that every single day and just like ask advice, or just vent it all out to someone, then you have the right to do it, because it's normal. It's not like, it doesn't mean that if you know something, you do not have the right to get anxious about it. That's not how it works. It's the principle of nevrosis as well. So I feel like it's important, and this is why I'm aiming with Heal the Deal for the next few months. I really want us to focus on just putting as much support as we can for people out there who are having a hard time just not making sales and having low expectations, etc. It's also something I wanted to address for all of the people who are going to have, new collections that will go out in the next few months or weeks. And maybe they will see that, they're not selling, and they will start comparing themselves and feeling bad about their work, etc. And I just want everyone to know that this has nothing to do with your work. I've been there. I know, Fesk, you've been there as well lately. There's nothing we can control in this. There's very few that we can control, and it's really difficult. And
I want to touch on that a little bit. Two
yeah, please
things.
do.
Like, I think that the conversation of going into a bear market, it needs to be said a little bit more. And I think that like on February and March, no one was talking about it. Like no one. And it's
Yeah,
really
no.
damn important because, as Kyle said, like previously, nothing goes up forever. Like, and the more hype we have, like the faster we grow, the faster we fall. Like, that's because like growing consistently and slowly, it's even better than for me to like spike up. But and I think that for the following months, I don't know if we're going to bear market right now or if we're going to go back up. I don't know. But I think that no matter the phase, the conversation of being prepared for a bear market needs to be there somehow. Like, I have friends that for the past few months haven't taken any profits, like even with Ethereum, like Kyle is laughing right now, like any profits at all, right? And that's really
Terrifying.
like you need to have these conversations during those
Yes.
times so people can prepare like from when stuff gets really ugly, right? So that's one. The second one is about like releasing a project and things not going the way that you expected. That's like super common as well. It happens to me. It happened to me like 2 times, I think. When I released my Genesis piece, like back on November, I remember that the day that I released the Genesis pieces was the day that Ethereum spiked from like $500 to 700 or 600 and stuff. Like, and the market started riling up, and I saw a lot of collectors stop collecting because the Ethereum was growing really fast. So it was a really strange dynamic back then, but I was crushed because I released my Genesis piece and nothing happened. Like it took me 3 weeks to sell that piece. And right now I'm not even bothered waiting 3 weeks. I have pieces sitting there for like 2 months, right? But at that time, I was like, oh my god, I didn't sell in 2 days and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really common that things go out of the way that you were expecting. Like, it's pretty damn common. It happened to me like Sunday when I released like the Eternal Bloom project that I was working on for the past 2 months. Wearable was like out of service on a few countries for like the whole day. I couldn't get into the account. So it was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I just released a project with a 24-hour auction and I cannot even log into the website. And I was like crushed and oh my God, it's not selling and blah, blah, blah. But that was completely out of my control. Like, and now I'm a little bit more mature to know that, okay, I did everything that I could for the project. Like, I had a proper plan, I executed the plan, and I'm fine. Like, I'm still a little bit bummed, but yeah, I know that it's not my fault. So I wanted to leave this out there because it will happen to you at some point. Like, you will probably work on something, you will do your best, and for some fucked up reason, it won't work. And it's not because of you or because of your work. There are other factors that you cannot control.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then don't quit, god damn it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It's difficult because you have to take that time to just like recenter, process your emotions as well. This can take a lot of time. I know what I'm talking about because like it took me a month or something after the second drop to just really go back to it and just feel like what I was doing is much more than just like a drop, or just like additions and just numbers. And also I just wanted to say that it's quite similar with just physical drops as well. When you're an artist and you release prints, etc., merch and whatnot, this is something you experience so much, but somehow it's more common and it's more accepted in a way because it's more private. It's not on display. Like, if you do not sell out a print, merch, a drop or something on the first day, people are just happy for you because that means that, or for them, because that means they're just going to be able to purchase the print when they have more money, etc. But somehow the way we consume in this NFT space is different because of the pace and the expectations once again. So it's all about a matter of perspective, because if this was like in a digital realm, such as the physical art realm or something, it would be different. It wouldn't be seen as much as a failure, and just putting this in perspective just really helps me in general. And I feel like we're just too used to we have been used, at least, to just see those things happening so fast. So just take that in mind, and as Fest said, it will happen. And when it happens, you will not be prepared, no matter how much we have been talking about that on this live stream and all of the other ones. You will not be prepared, but that's fine, because we will be here to pick you up when it happens. That's how community works. And it's important for everyone to know that it's going to be fine. You will get through it, and just do not give up because you're so much more than just a drop, like so much more. It's insane just for us to think that we're nothing without our work. It's just like, I don't know. We're just living. So trust the unknown. That's the motto.
I just want to take what you just said. I think it circles back to what we were talking about strategy earlier. I think you, as creators, especially in the blockchain space, hopefully over time the NFT space decouples from crypto and it kind of just is art. And I think right now it's like people still see it as its own separate thing. I think what people need to think about is, in the course of the next 5 years, there's probably an almost 100% chance likelihood that all of your Ethereum is going to probably reduce by 90% in value. There's probably a very good chance that all your artwork that you're selling now, maybe every week, every other week, there's probably a good chance you probably won't sell anything for 6 months. How all this stuff goes, especially in speculative and early markets, history repeats itself. And so what you need to be thinking about today is, if these things were to happen, what are you doing today to protect yourself? Are you taking profits, or are you just like, hell yeah, I'm quitting my day job, I'm just going to go all in on Ethereum and just make it work for the next 6 months? If you're not taking profits, you're probably setting yourself up to get burned. And I think a lot of people just need to find ways to come up with strategies for their practice, for their work, that protects them in the long term, and also keeps them engaged and fun and in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm. Also, just wanted to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's super important. And I didn't know, Kyle, if you had any resources for how to take profits. I know a lot of people who are just artists who are new to cryptocurrency don't necessarily have a roadmap for that. And especially when the emotions get high, that's exactly what you need. You need a schedule to just do. So do you have anywhere to point people?
I have some great resources I can send. I have links and stuff. I know Andreessen Horowitz has an amazing library of articles and stuff all about NFTs, crypto, etc. So if anyone wants to DM me on Twitter or wherever, I'm happy to send you my database, the master list of all the articles, platforms, etc. Happy to send it over. Yeah, honestly, there's a great book I highly recommend reading. I think all creators, especially since we're all becoming entrepreneurs through this stuff, need to understand the basics of finance and money management. There's a book called I Will Teach You How to Be Rich. That's really great and talks about basic money management stuff, from banking to credit cards to debt to houses, etc. It doesn't cover crypto, but you should take those rules of investing in finance and savings and apply it to what you're doing here. Setting rules for yourself is important, and sticking to those rules is also just as important. It's just like with investing. If you don't stick to your rules, you're literally on a runaway train. Protect yourself,
We should do a dump in a channel on Heal the Deal Discord.
Absolutely. I was about to
awesome.
just mention that, because in the Discord we have a lot of resources channels. So maybe we could add that to just the crypto resources channel, and you can just dump all of your knowledge in there because I really need that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a great advice. Great advice, because the more you know, the more you're also likely to just reduce your anxiety level as well. At least
True.
that's how it works for me. I just love learning things just to reassure myself, basically. So I feel like that's super helpful. So we will definitely add this to the Discord. Also, I just wanted to mention that we're reaching our time limit for the day. But if any of you guys just have any question or something you would like to add up in the chat right now, just feel free to do so. I feel like we could have 5 more minutes before we end up this live stream. But just wanted to say that it was so great just talking with you guys. Like
It's really
your
fun.
insights just amazing, and your energy, and just like I love it. Like I love my guests.
I love being here.
Feelings mutual.
Yeah, it was really fun. I like the fact that since we are recording this, like it will be actually proper resource
Yes.
for people in the future. Because like I've been doing like talks with Alicia for the past like 3 months now. I don't know. I've lost count of how many chats
Yeah,
we
it
have.
goes so fast.
Yeah, and the issue is we never record that, and there's value in not recording because people can like open up more freely, but then like you lose so much nice insights and value in there. So I think that doing a nice mix of closed chats and like open live streams where we can record the content for future, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, totally. And again, like I love the fact that we're going to record those sessions more and more. Also, I just wanted to invite people to just maybe suggest who they would like to see in here on this channel as well. Because I would love to have so many more guests and just like have big conversations. I feel like what I'm missing a bit now is just having those live interactions with people that sometimes we have on Twitter Spaces,
Yeah.
Clubhouse, etc. So maybe we are going to have a bi-weekly schedule or something, because I genuinely love hearing from others and just what they go through. But for now, just know that if you have anything to say, or if you need to vent about something, and or just need support and people to hear you out, you can always go to the Discord and just like send it all out, because we will be here for you and we will pick you up. Or at least I will, because you just all mean so much to me. And yeah, I'm just really grateful. So if no one has questions, I guess we're just going to wrap this up for now. I see all of the messages on the chat, and just wanted to say thank you to everyone for the emotes, for the for the love, for the everything. It's so nice. It was great to see everyone's faces as well. And
Thank you
yeah,
for inviting me.
of course. Can you get Beeple on the next call? Kyle. I mean, he's a busy man, you know. He's like he's that bitch, you know.
But the thing is, like, in defense of Beeple, like, he's a really genuine and like nice guy. Like, I've known him for like 2 years now, and I've done some chats with him. He's like super amazing person, but the dude is busy as hell. Like, you cannot reach him. He's like,
I love that Samuel just said we're getting Biden next week.
Yeah.
Yo, my dude, Biden is going on the live stream next week. Check this out. He's going to expose his mental health with us. I'm sure he has a lot of knowledge on the topic.
For sure.
Biden before Beeple. It's going to be an alphabetic list of guests, basically. But
I would
hey,
tune in if he tells the corn pop story, because I love the corn pop story.
I'm not aware of that. I am a Canadian. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just YouTube corn pop story. It's funny.
Okay, I will.
Okay, I will just do that now.
So, pro tip also, just real quick, for all the Beeple people, I'm pretty sure he's dropping a project tomorrow, Thursday.
Oh yeah, on the 24th.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Keep an eye on his Twitter. Yeah.
That's more
Where is it?
anxiety, you know? Fucking hell.
Is it on
Now I
Metaverse
need
Place?
to like keep my eyes
They
on
haven't announced it. It's like a ambiguous project, but I know a couple people who have worked on it. It's going to be a probably cool project.
Okay.
Probably
Nice.
NFT related.
Where is it, by the way?
There's no info about it.
Great, just great,
Yeah.
amazing,
Just
love it.
keep an eye on Twitter. Set notifications for people tomorrow.
Oh, no Twitter again.
Twitter notifications mess me over every single time. I click the bell and then like don't hear from people for like a month. So I'm gonna probably just
Oh, me
unfollow
too.
everyone.
Exactly.
If you guys lose my follow, then just you're in with everyone else. I'm gonna only follow Beeple for the next day.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Someone,
Yeah. The
People
people drop
say
for
that-
sure on Hen. Sorry, I just wanted to put that out there. It's for sure on Hen. Just
Really?
saying. No.
Okay.
next Tizo's topic on the next chat, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to talk about that, and we're going to address more topics in the next chat as well. I wanted to touch base on so many things today, but I feel like we never have enough time. But hey, guys, thank you so much. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Orphan. Thank you, Fesk. Thank you, everyone
you.
in the chat.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It was nice hanging with you guys.
Yay! And see you soon. And
Yeah.
take care, everyone. And
Bye-bye,
wear
everyone.
SPF, please.